Hanna's Town is a frontier village that was founded by Robert Hanna in 1769. He acquired the property, but the town really took off in 1773 when it was named to act as the first county seat for Westmoreland.
For the people that lived here, most of the people were farmers, and they lived their lives as best they could. But daily life would have been difficult. You have to deal with the elements, heat, cold, frostbite in the winter. Animals, rattlesnakes, wolves, etc., as well as the threat of a native incursion. There was a lot of angst, hostility among the frontiersmen, especially around interactions with the natives, negative feelings towards how much protection they received by the British, or negative feelings towards being restricted from settlement. There were certainly lingering hostilities over just the settlement of the frontier itself, and much of that would continue to boil over with the Revolution.
The main events that led to the Hanna's Town resolves would have been the firings at Lexington and Concord. The settlers on the frontier wanted the same rights that any other British citizen had, and it absolutely let the movers and shakers out east know, here on the frontier we were willing to fight. The Hanna's Town resolves, while a very compelling document, we don't know exactly who wrote it. If people signed it, it would have been a treasonous act. The only way we know what it says is from it being printed in a Philadelphia paper.
The Hanna's Town resolves set out to really make sure they said, okay, King George, we're still loyal to you. But their big aim was to say, okay, if you try to come out this way and do what you did at Lexington and Concord, you will regret it. We will be ready to fight. We will be ready to push you back.
The attack at Hanna's Town came quite unexpectedly. It was July 13, 1782. It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and there were men out harvesting wheat north of town, and they saw the Indians coming. So they ran into town yelling for everybody to run to the fort. The Indians are attacking. So it was more of a foot race than a battle. Everybody's racing into the fort. They were able to keep the fort safe, but you're watching everything you've worked for just burned to the ground, broken, stolen. It's gone. People didn't have anything to come back to, and the town never recovered.
They attempt to rebuild. It's not very successful. They get a lot of complaints because there's nowhere for people to stay. Hanna's Town basically is gone from being the county seat and really is dwindling. Hanna dies in 1786. The dream of Hanna's Town dies with Robert Hanna.
As part of the history of the town is that it was burned to the ground by the Seneca and their British allies at the end of the Revolutionary War. There's nothing original left here, but we have moved old log buildings here. We have reconstructed log buildings to partially recreate the village that would have been here in the late 18th century.
First, it's important to understand what life was like during these historical events. There are some things that don't necessarily need a utility. It's better for you knowing.
Historic Hanna's Town is a wonderful place to bring your family for activities that are interesting, but they also teach you something. So it's a fun way to learn your history, to learn how America started and how the frontier was such a big part of the American culture and the American story.
For more info and to plan your visit to historic Hanna's Town, visit westmorelandhistory.org.